as you can see guys, I put this slip on, and that allows to put the A panel on. Obviously it goes at the bottom and it goes at the top, and what this allows to do is actually just turn that edge in and keep that in place, and then it's a wee weld on the top and a wee weld on the bottom, and then we can, you know, marry up the front wing to it. But at the moment what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a bit of paint on this, because obviously this is going to be covered at some point, and yeah, let's get cracking. So I've been working on this front hinge and door. What we found is we were going to tuck the A panel into a flange here, but what we're finding is when we're moving the door, obviously the door is then fouling on that piece, so we're having to cut that back. We've had to put a couple of shims in to allow the door to get into a position where it's actually freely in the door frame. So it's okay. It's quite high at the top, but we are quite low here, so it's hard to kind of judge exactly how much of a space is there at the moment. But yeah, we're just going to cut this back, allow the door to swing freely, and then reassess what we're going to do with this this flange here. So we've been working on doors and front of wings and all sorts of stuff. Now, came across a wee bit of a problem. Now, we had to replace the pins on the hinges that I had. There was a lot of broken bits and so forth. So unfortunately, when I replaced the studs, what I did is I done stainless steel to stainless steel, and which caused a big bloody problem. And as you can see, we have broken, and we have the threads just jamming up, because obviously the stainless steel nut and bolt has basically seized together. And this is a kind of problem, so you really kind of need to use mild on stainless. I've ordered new nuts and bolts, so I'll replace all these. But if you can see, the door is getting there. It's not exactly 100% at the moment. Still do a wee bit of adjustment, but it is getting there now. Still needs to be pushed up a bit. As you can tell, obviously these are not connected. But if we come round to the wing, as you can see, we have put that one on just for a look. I'm just repairing this one, obviously piecing in the extra bit of material that we need. So that's just been welded in. I didn't clean that up as well as I could have, so it's a wee bit dotty, and I've just had a few more welds to do on the inside. Okay guys, as you can see, just doing a little test fit on the car. Now, still got a wee bit of adjustment to do on bonnet and wings, just to get the angles kind of right. So there's a wee bit of manoeuvring left and right to do, but as you can see, overall it's pretty decent. You know, just a wee bit of adjustment to do, and get things kind of in place, and then obviously we've got the doors to consider with the A panel. Obviously, as I said, I've got a wee bit of work to do on the hinges, and yeah, that is where we are at the moment. It's okay, it's not great, but I'm sure we'll be a bit fiddling, we'll get there. So I'm working on the door again. As you can see, it's pretty good in regards to the lining up. It's not too bad. We get round, the whole door actually closes all the way around. Had to modify this little piece in here. This was repaired a while back by myself. So what I've done is I've just moved it back, so I've got a wee bit more space in this area. What you might have seen earlier on, we'd pieced a bit of material in here. The the reason for that would be so that we could turn the edge of this round. However, because of the aperture of the door, basically when we're basically manoeuvring the door open, what you can see is there's a very slight gap there, so we've had to cut that back so obviously the door can open. So in regards to this will allow us to then move this forward so that we do have the gap in the door. Now we do have to manoeuvre this a little bit because we have to have this obviously following the lines of the edging here all the way up, and that's obviously got to be over that area. So we've made a wee plate up just to kind of support that, because what we need to do is we need to actually pull this panel out so that it actually follows the door, and we're just a wee bit away for that. Otherwise what you're going to have is you're actually going to have a step in the door, and the door can't go any further back for the hinges and so forth that we've got. So we've got a wee plate what we're going to put up here, and what that'll do is it'll just allow this to come forward slightly and still marry up with everything there. So just a wee bit of modification to be done. This is really just trying to get the lines correct. This is my car, so I can do whatever I like with it. Probably not the correct way, but I'm going to do it my way. As you can see, we've had to slit here as well. So this was actually sitting slightly high. So what we've done is we slit it across, we pulled it down, and then we welded it so that actually this sits in line with everything else. We've kind of measured it. So all I need to do is then just piece a wee bit of this up, and that should be fine. Just to close the space, in other words, and close that back off again so nothing can go up inside. Yeah, so there's a few things to do. So I'll go on with a little plate and get the door off, get on with a little plate and get that kind of welded on, and yeah, well, we'll see how that turns out. If not, can always cut it back off again. So we've got that kind of lined up there. Moving along, I've already welded the piece in that I was talking about. You really probably won't even see it. I've kind of lined it all up. The only thing I need to do is just turn that edge in or remove, and yeah, that is currently just touching the very end of the flange. So see, basically this is an actual flange, so it's actually just touching here, the flange. So the moment I turn that in, that should clear. That should clear that. If not, it's just a wee nudge just across, and that should hopefully be in the right place. Pretty much just need to dink it in at the bottom, and we're pretty much there. So we've been working on this A panel. This was an absolute nightmare, to be perfectly honest. The reason is, when I replaced this, it looks like there's probably an overhang here originally, and I've cut it short. I don't know whether you see that. So what I've done is I've basically welded in a piece in here, and it's pushed this right out, and then I put a lip on, and that gives me, I know it looks quite a thing there, but if you look right down, it's pretty good. Follows the kind of door, and then when you open the door up, it doesn't fill at all. So it's my car. I'm happy with that. Just get this welded into place, and that means that's that piece done, and then we can follow on to the front. Obviously still got the other side to do, but I'm happy enough with that. Okay guys, been working on this piece. That's now welded in. Just got a wee bit of work to do. Made a wee mistake when I crimped it. I went a wee bit overboard, so yes, I've got a wee bit of repair work to do. But it all fits in place. Welded the bit up here again, welded it up down the back, and it's all starting to come together now. Loads of bits to tidy up, but yeah, at least it's getting there. So guys, doing a wee test fit at the moment. Got A panels on, all kind of lined up with the doors. We're okay up here. It's not 100%, but it's as close as I'm going to get. But one thing we did notice, that my super duper cheap bonnet, not this one, this is a fiberglass one that came with the car. Obviously that just needs to come out a bit. It was totally trashed. Unfortunately, when we put it on, the whole back part here was bowed up. This was dented in here, and it was actually dented at the front. When we actually flipped it over, the actual bracing inside had actually been kinked. Obviously this is a fiberglass one, so I'll show you it, but you won't be able to see much, but I'll show you the kinking on the bracing inside. But looks like I might need to get a new bonnet. So this is the bonnet, guys. It looks actually not too bad, but it's actually flattened here. It's actually got dents in here. This is too high, so this is all bowed up. If we actually flip it over, I'll quickly show you. So if you can see, so it's kinked here. And you can see that. It's kinked actually here as well. And it's kinked there. So the whole bonnet's actually been twisted. So I think we're screwed.